If you've ever wanted to grow your audience or find more customers, you need a really powerful tool to get the ball rolling. So today, we're diving deep into that exact tool, the lead magnet. And we've got the ultimate checklist to make sure yours is a massive success. All right, so what exactly is a lead magnet? Well, the definition here calls it an irresistible bribe. And honestly, that's the perfect way to think about it. It's that super valuable checklist or guide or template that you offer somebody in exchange for their email address. This is step one, the very beginning of building a real relationship. But here's the big question, right? The concept seems so simple, but if you look around, most lead magnets, they just don't work. They get totally ignored, they don't convert, and they end up being a huge waste of time and energy. So what is going on? Well, the answer, as it so often is in the details. It's not about just having an offer. It's about having the right offer. And that's what we're here to do today. Walk through a simple 8-point test that separates the lead magnets people can't wait to get their hands on from the ones that get completely lost in the noise. All right, let's jump right into part one. Think of these first 3 principles as the absolute foundation. These are the non-negotiables. If you can nail these, you're already way ahead of the game. So the first and most crucial point, and honestly, this is the #1 reason they fail, is being way too vague. Your lead magnet cannot be for everyone. It has to promise a very, very specific solution to a very specific problem for a very specific kind of person. So a guide to marketing, that's going to fail. But a 5-step checklist for realtors to get 3 new listings this month? Bam, that's a winner. See the difference? Okay, number 2, you have to promise one big thing. Look, nobody has time to read a 50-page ebook anymore. Your audience is drowning in information. They don't want another library. They want a silver bullet. So your job is to find that one single, most impactful piece of advice that will give them a real breakthrough and make that your entire offer. Now this is such a powerful shift in thinking. Nobody wakes up wanting to learn a process like internet marketing. What they really want is the result that process gets them. So don't sell the process, sell the result. A plumber doesn't want to become a digital marketing expert, right? No, they just want the phone to ring with new customers. You have to frame your promise around their desired destination, not the car that gets them there. So we've got the core strategy down. Now for part 2, we're going to shift gears a little and talk about psychology. Because a great lead magnet isn't just about what you offer, it's about how it makes your audience feel and what it inspires them to do next. We live in a world where we want everything now. And your audience is no different. They want a solution and they want it immediately. This is exactly why things like newsletters or multi-day email courses often flop as lead magnets. Your offer needs to be something they can download, consume, and get value from, like, right away. Think checklists, templates, short video tutorials, instant wins. Okay, and this next idea? This is a really, really big one. So often, we think the biggest challenge is getting someone to believe in our solution or our product. But the real hurdle? After trying and failing so many times, they've actually stopped believing in themselves. So, the job of your lead magnet is to give them a little victory. Imagine someone with chronic back pain. They've tried everything and they're super skeptical. Instead of promising a miracle cure, what if your lead magnet was just a simple stretch that provided 5 minutes of relief? That's it. That small win, that little taste of success, it changes everything. It rebuilds their hope and makes them think, hey, maybe this actually is possible, which makes them way more open to your bigger solution. All right, we're heading into the home stretch with our final 3 principles in part 3. This is all about the packaging and the delivery, how you really seal the deal and start building that critical trust. Principle number 6, and this is so important. Just because it's free, it doesn't mean it should look free. We all do it, right? We judge a book by its cover. So you have to use professional design, create a compelling graphic or a mock-up of it, and present it like it's something of real monetary value. That perceived value is established before they even type in their email, so make it look premium. But, and this is a big but, it can't just be a pretty face. It actually has to deliver the goods. This is the classic all sizzle and no steak problem.
If your lead magnet looks amazing but doesn't actually help, you might get their email, sure, but you've completely shattered their trust right from the get-go. The goal isn't just the lead, it's to start a relationship by genuinely helping them. And that leads us perfectly into our last principle. Your lead magnet has to be rapidly consumable, ideally in 5 minutes or less. Now, why is that? Because you don't want it to become a roadblock. Think about it. If you hand them this massive 300-page book, what happens? It goes on the "I'll read it later" pile, and later never comes. A quick, valuable win keeps that momentum going. All right, so we have talked a lot about being ultra specific, but I know what you're probably thinking. How in the world do you find that perfect specific idea for your audience? Let's figure that out right now. Well, here's a great place to start. Just ask yourself this question. If you only had 2 minutes to completely wow a potential customer with your expertise, what would you share? What's that one little trick or piece of insight that would just make their jaw drop? That little nugget of genius? That's your lead magnet. Or if that doesn't quite click for you, try this angle. What is the single most burning question that your ideal customer has? What are they secretly typing into Google at 2 in the morning? Is it, how do I run a Facebook contest? Or how much is my house really worth? Dig deep and find that one core question. Because your answer to one of those 2 questions, that is it. That's your next killer lead magnet. It's the key to creating that irresistible bribe that doesn't just get you an email address, but actually starts a real relationship built on trust and value. So, what's your big idea?